Policy, anyone who wants to come in can.
There's rumours that people on protest camps are paid by, say, Greenpeace £30 a day. It's complete rubbish.
The way people support themselves on site is by some people sign on, and some people sell big issues, some people busk, you know, some people actually go and work. You don't actually need that much money really, because food gets donated and we go out and skip food. Skip food is when big shops throw away their food, and a lot of it's still in date. I remember one time we got about 300 blocks of cheese out of the skip that was still in date, and we just couldn't take it all.
Local people don't always appreciate how much they're going to be affected by something. They don't see the issues and they don't see the people. They just look very, very shallowly at the images portrayed by the media, and they don't see the wider picture.
As a resident, I think the protesters are actually a good thing.
I don't think they project the right image. They just look like a bunch of scruffy layabouts who are causing trouble.
When the protest was at its height, we actually had the legendary Swampy in our kitchen.
Work is a dirty word to them, because we work out for our money and we are paying people to have them cleared away. We don't want them.
As far as I'm concerned, I think the protesters are making fools of themselves.
I mean, they have been criticised for wasting taxpayers' money, but that's taxpayers' money in the 90s. You look 50 years hence. If the amount of money that's been spent now delays that sort of spending on a totally futile project in the future, I would say it's a good investment.
At Arthur's Wood, you know why you're there. You've got planes going over constantly, you've got that great big ugly cement mixer and the airport, and it's in your face all the time. I think I didn't stay on, I stayed on the camp sort of only for a few nights while the camp was actually there, and just sort of going down and visiting, and it's like it's been on the front line. It really is on the front line of development, where you're somewhere completely beautiful, the other side of the fence is just so ugly.
It looks to me on the film like it's a good community. It's everyone clinging together on the beliefs.
Morale on site, it is difficult to maintain.
I think if everybody's beliefs are strong enough, the morale will stay up anyway. People believe in what they're doing, people are there for one cause and one thing, and they're all united in that. Therefore, no matter what happens, they're going to stick together at the end of the day.
You're constantly surrounded by it, you're consumed by it, so your beliefs will be really strong.
If people choose to come and live on a site, then they're there with a common aim to other people who are living on that site. Sometimes when there's differences, like eating habits, like some people are meat eaters and some people are sort of vegetarians or vegans, then as a protest grows, then you end up with different camps, and you end up with one camp where people do eat meat and one camp where it's a vegetarian camp, and that's the way, as it gets bigger, that those differences are dealt with.
Dramatic scenes near the site of Manchester Airport's second runway today as bailiffs moved in to remove...
Just hang on a sec while I get the phone. Hello? The camp phoned me up this morning and said Aruga, which means the eviction's about to start. Yeah, you can't get in down the lane or from Arthur's Wood, but if you go, you have to go into Style Woods and then come up the back. It's been an arrangement for a while that when I get a phone call from somebody on the camp mobile, that I would ring round the people on the list. That lots of people have come from other places, like come up from London or down from Faslane to come and get into the camp to be here for the eviction, so there's more people there to be evicted. At this eviction, the Undersheriff came and gave 48 hours notice. That doesn't normally happen. Climbers turn up, and there's also ground bailiffs. They cut the walkways, they take apart the tree houses and pull the people out of the nets and lower them down on their ropes. The tunnellers usually start a few days after the climbers. Basically, if you've not left when you do leave, you're likely to get arrested. So what needs to happen today is we need to get as many people down there as possible who can actually go down and stay until tomorrow and be evicted. So can you go down and stay until tomorrow?
I can as it goes, yeah.
During the eviction, I've been trying to support the camp as much as I can One of the roles I play is trying to raise awareness with the public through the media. I've got somebody who sends out press releases, and I try and make myself as available as possible for interviews with the media. And one thing which I have done is to take food in. If you keep your hand in and you keep climbing trees and using walkways, it's fine and you feel fine about it. But going over that river with lots of bailiffs and security watching was actually quite scary, but it was something I had to do. I'm glad I didn't do it last night. Oh, typical, the phone's ringing! Halfway across the walkway over a river and the phone rings. It's not just that they needed the food, it's that somebody is on the outside coming in and making that connection, because you can get really isolated in a camp. A lot of people try and just sort of return to whatever they were doing beforehand after an eviction. But what people really need to do is go somewhere, I think, go somewhere beautiful that's not under threat, and just go and have a rest, because it is very traumatic. I think when I got the phone call to say the eviction was starting, I didn't quite believe it was actually happening. It was like, oh no, please. I think during an eviction you've got to think on your feet and just sort of think, what could I be doing now to either make things better for people in the trees, or get something out to the media, or just generally be a spanner in the works.
The idea behind the naked protest was that we didn't think the bailiffs had any female climbers, so there's been a new law brought in recently that means they had to send female climbers up to get down a female naked protester. So I was hoping that if I was naked up there, they wouldn't have the staff to get me down. But next time, hopefully, there'll be more than just one naked woman.
150 of them.
Yeah, that'd be nice. So
really give them some hassle.
Yeah, it's summer.
Yeah, wait till it's nicer weather, you'll get plenty of volunteers.
I got out the site of Arthur's Woods about 24 hours ago. I got processed by the police, went to court, been fined. I do have a criminal record, but I don't see myself as a criminal. When you get evicted, I don't think it hits people for a couple of days, or maybe even a week or two, maybe longer. Then it hits you what happens. I've been put up in a flat by a friend of mine, Vanessa, for a couple of weeks until I sort my own flat out.
Each protest camp, each protest, every demonstration has an impact by showing people generally that they can make a difference. They have power to change things and to make their world a better place. You don't have to have a job to be doing something useful with your life. Most of the people I know would fit into that category.
Yeah, I think dreadlocks are not as fashionable as they were about 2 years ago. It's more sort of plaits and different things.
It was a sort of really awful thing that we'd sort of set off the eviction alert and then got halfway down to the site and found out that it wasn't actually the eviction, it was a false alarm. Don't you think that's awful? Like, because you're so busy and you're doing so much, don't you feel like saying to these two, you could be doing so much with your lives? And I thought, yeah, I'm dying to meet these two.
Come round for a smoke one day. But I don't think having a criminal record gives you any sort of posture in that sort of sense. It makes you look cool in front of your mates, having a criminal record. It doesn't quite make sense, does it?
After seeing myself on TV saying that I was a bum, I thought, right, they don't get to know everything anymore.